Hello, I'm going to show you the Wally Woods 22 panels that always work. So we're going to start up here with the first one. There we go. Okay, so the first one's just called, he refers to it as big head. So you're drawing somebody's head really large in the panel frame. So that's this one. And so you've cropped it and filled the whole panel with someone's face. This one is extreme close-up, so that's even further cropped where you're in on somebody's eyes. So that it doesn't have to be their eyes, though. It could be something else. But this might be a good one if you're using the eyes to convey some sort of emotion. This is called back of head or part of head. So this is an interesting perspective for us, the viewer, because it's as if we are this guy and we're looking into the scene and maybe looking at that guy. This is profile. So the two characters in this panel are looking at each other side to side. This one, it says white Ben-Day and dark foreground. Ben-Day are those little tiny dots, sort of like pixels that were used in newspapers, like years ago. So in this one, he's just using some contrast. He's got the guy that's closer to us way up close, and this is called foreshortening, where you have that large and things that are in the background are small. And then he also just kind of sketched this out, and then this one is really filled in solid. This is called an open panel, so there is no panel line around here. And then this one he refers to as all black, so it's kind of for drama that you've really darkened almost everything except for a few details showing where this figure is standing. Okay, on the next row, one big object, and he's describing hand, gun, lamp, phone. So it's a way of drawing the viewer's attention. It doesn't have to be a hand. It could be something else where you're just drawing the object in a really large way in your panel. This is full figure open panel. So again, an open panel with the character drawn from head to toe. This is called reverse silhouette, black or Ben-Day. Bottom open, so notice how it just three sides of this panel have their defining line and the bottom is open here. Black background, white figure. So this might give you a feeling that's kind of unsettling, like the bottom is gone, so we lose our footing, and it could be good for a panel where there's something where you're trying to convey fear or maybe confusion or sense of spiraling out of control. This one, he's using proportion, so a small figure, and he's using those Ben-Day dots again. So the figure is really little. And again, this could be great for, fear, confusion, because we have all this kind of unknown in the background. This one he refers to as depth. So he's showing depth by showing what's in the front, the foreground of our picture, the middle ground of our picture, and then this figure here way in the background. So we have a real sense of near and far in this one. He called this one a down shot with cast shadows. So all of these you can draw in your own way. You could draw the down shot without the cast shadow. It just depends on what goes in your scene. But what's interesting here is the perspective. So it's sort of like we're up here in the sky looking down on this figure. So that might be interesting if you have a parent yelling at a child or something like that. It sort of shows, a relationship like above and below powering up. This one's called L-shaped with a silhouette. So again, you could use just parts of these. So L-shaped means he's giving some sort of structure here in this sort of L shape, and then the figure's just in silhouette. So not drawing all the details, just kind of blacking that out. This one's called diagram, and it's at eye level. So again, two different things you could use. It's diagram because he didn't fill everything in. It's just very sketchy. And then eye level because we're on the same level as these two figures. We're looking straight into the scene. So not like this where we're up in the air looking down, but just straight even with them looking right into their scene. That might be like, I almost feel like I'm approaching these people or something like that. All right, the bottom row. So this one is called side light or top. So they're looking at a window, and it doesn't have to be a window, but there's some sort of light source. They're sort of in darkness here, but there's bright light shining, highlighting their faces or the top of this guy's head. This one is called reflection. So he's using a puddle here where the person's looking down in the puddle. You could have a mirror or something like that. In fact, the one up here where it's somebody looking, it might be interesting if this was a mirror reflection on the other side. This one's called frame, so he's using some sort of framing device. In this case, it is a window pane, so we're on the outside looking in. It's interesting because it really separates us from the action, but again, it's also framing it. This is called white Ben-Day and silhouette. So there's some stuff with the white Ben-Day dots in the background. I think this is a figure right in the center here. And then these two figures are in silhouette. This is called 3-stage. I'm not quite sure what that means, but it's like there's this unsettling feeling in this one too. So there's a guy here and there's a woman, and it looks like she could be in danger. But also, this scene really tilts. So if you notice, the ground looks like it's on a slant. I don't necessarily think it's a hill, but I think by drawing the frame on a slant, it gives us that feeling that something's not right, something's out of balance, something could be happening. So it's a way to draw a panel that gives us that feeling. And I think in particular for this one, there's a creepiness to it because of the darkness and the unknown. This one he doesn't have a title on. You could just call it extra. And I think what he did was zoom in on this newspaper. So maybe there's something important in your comic, like an object that you might want to zoom into and really show us what's going on with that. And then this one's just called contrast. So I get a lot of darker spaces against a lot of white spaces. And that is your overview of Wally Wood's 22 panel designs that always work. Good luck on your assignment.